Welcome to the On Deck podcast, presented by LineStar. I'm Shannon Sommerville here with Tyler Wiemann, ready to break down your daily fantasy baseball slate for today. Plus, we've got your prop bets and your home run calls. We, in fact, hit our prop bets yesterday. I think we've gotten 2 of the last 3 days.
We sure
We've
have.
been doing pretty well on there on Underdog Fantasy. It is August 23rd. Some storylines for you in Major League Baseball. Subway Series finishes off today. Sorry, Max Scherzer.
Yep.
Win number 200 is not going to come in the Bronx. Sorry, buddy.
And we said he might have been a better fade yesterday.
You did say that.
Yep.
I hope you listened to us yesterday.
Yep.
So,
got
finishing
Gumby
up the
right
Subway
too.
Series, we'll see what happens today. And Cardinals have won 8 straight and lead the NL Central by 5 games. Another team you liked yesterday.
Yes.
Certainly delivered. Albert Pujols.
Fountain of Youth.
What is going on? He's on fire.
Yep, we've been saying it. He found the Fountain of Youth.
And he was our sleeper pick yesterday. We just crushed
He
him
was.
yesterday in
Yeah.
general with so if he was our sleeper pick, I think he was only $2,000 or something on DraftKings. So
Got a home run. Unfortunately, he's the only one that did much for the Cardinals, but
True. That's all they needed.
Yep.
He has 6 home runs in the last 7 games as he continues the chase for 700. All MLB's top 3 ERA leaders are all in action today. So we've got some really good pitchers on the hill in this slate, in a Mondo slate today. 15 gamer. How about it? So a lot to choose from. First, we'll take a look at some weather conditions to keep note of. We've got a few. We've got the Mets-Yankees game. Few spotty showers early, unlikely to impact. We've also got a 6-mile-an-hour wind, so just a little light breeze to left field. Chicago White Sox at Baltimore. Probably nothing more than a stray shower there. Cincinnati at Philadelphia. Stray shower there as well. Noticing a theme here today. Toronto at Boston. Scattered, slow-moving storms around Boston. So pay particular attention to what's going on around Fenway today in that game. And Cardinals at Cubs. So we always look at Wrigley to see which way the wind's blowing. So it's blowing in for the first game of the doubleheader, but then in the evening, it's a light wind and it's kind of blowing all over the place. So pretty much a non-factor in the late game for today. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel so that you're signed up on everything that we're coming out with lately. Make sure you sign up for notifications so you know when we're coming out with the latest videos to get you set not only for baseball, but football season is right around the corner. Speaking of which, we are on one of the final weeks where LineStar is at $19.99. You want to lock that in now because football season, it will go up to $29.99. Still a great deal, but we want you to save $10 a month. Lock it in now, especially since we've got some awesome features coming out that you definitely want to kind of sign up for so you can dominate in daily fantasy this football season. Check it out, linestarapp.com. Tyler, let's get to our chalk report for today because we've got some great pictures on the hill and in our high-owned guys for today. The highest owned on the slate right now, Mariners lefty Robbie Ray, who's going up against the Nationals. He's 43% owned on DraftKings, 26% on FanDuel, 3.87 ERA for him. He's hit double-digit strikeouts in 2 of the last 3. How do you like his chances today against the Nationals?
So the Nationals haven't been striking out much. I think it's like 17.7% versus lefties. But the combined K rate is 25%. So there is some upside with that K rate, and it's really just because Ray is so good at striking guys out. However, he hasn't been great lately. 4.92 FIP over his last 5, which is almost a full point higher than his last 20 stats. I would say that is likely due to the fact that he went against Houston twice and the Yankees, and those Houston games, they really got to him. So I don't know if I would take too much worry with that 4.92. It might have just been that Houston had his number.
Yeah.
But all in all, I mean, Ray's been good. The one thing you have to worry about, though, is his walks, which he has shown that he's a little inconsistent with that this year.
So possibly a fade situation there, given the ownership.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have ownership that high, you have to consider the fade.
Giants lefty Carlos Rodon going up against the Tigers today. 37% owned on DraftKings, 35% owned on FanDuel. I mean, Rodon's awesome. Sub-3 ERA, 2.06 opponent average. Last game, just 1 earned run, just 2 hits in that game, and 11 strikeouts against the Diamondbacks. Rodon's been awesome this season. One of the snubs of the biggest snubs of the All-Star game.
Yeah, and his combined K rate today is super high. It's almost 28%. So you have to like that. 4.5 alert score on him. He's the highest projected for LineStar. He does have a great matchup today, but he's averaging less points when away, 32.8% less points on the road. And his StatCast data is a little suspect. He's averaging 50% fly balls, 36% hard contact. So there is a little worry there, especially that he's on the road, and we've seen that he isn't quite as good on the road as home.
Another pitcher that's just been absolutely incredible this season, Astros righty Justin Verlander going up against the Twins today. 27% owned on DraftKings, 17% owned on FanDuel. Sub-2 ERA, sub-200 opponent average, and allowed 3 runs the past 2 games, though. What's going on? That's a huge anomaly, and even that's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Verlander's still been great. The issue here is Minnesota is good versus righties. 340 WOBA, 180 ISO, so they're hitting the ball hard versus righties. Like I said, Verlander's been great, but he has lacked some upside in the K department, and that could really show up today, where we have a 19.7% combined K rate for him. So at his prices, maybe that upside isn't there. It's kind of like what we were talking about with Scherzer yesterday. He is, however, the second highest projected on LineStar, and we have a 3-star alert rating on him.
Right. So given the ownership on these highest owned guys, and there are a ton of pitchers to choose from, is it worth taking a gamble on them, or are we kind of thinking about fading all 3?
Ownership is there for a reason. They have been the better pitchers. Detroit is probably the easiest matchup of these 3. And then Ray is probably the one that I would feel most confident out of with these 3. And then Rodon, like I said, is probably the best matchup. Would I fade all 3? No. If I'm doing a ton of lineups today, I absolutely am not fading all 3. I'll play probably all, or at least Rodon and Ray for sure. But I would also sprinkle in some of these low-owned guys, especially today when we have such good low-owned guys.
Perfect segue.
Yep.
Low-owned for today. Braves lefty Max Fried going up against the Pirates today. Just 13% owned on DraftKings and 8% owned on FanDuel. 2.60 ERA, 2.34 opponent average. Just awesome. And then when you're looking at the Pirates, this is a team that has the second to lowest batting average as a team. So he's got the favorable matchup there as well. Quite frankly, I'm a little surprised the ownership isn't a little bit higher.
Yeah, and on DraftKings, he's only in the 9,000s, which is kind of cheap for how good of a pitcher he is. So you could have him and, say, Cease or Ray, and you're not really breaking the bank but getting 2 really good pitchers.
Yeah.
Fried, 5-star alert rating. Pittsburgh strikes out a ton versus lefties, 27.6%. And Fried's just been really good, super low, 2 FIP over his last 5 games. And we have a 24.6% combined K rate on him today. So there is some upside there too.
And how about the upside on White Sox righty Dylan Cease going up against the Orioles today? 9% owned on DraftKings, 2% owned on FanDuel. Taking a look at his numbers, he's got a 2.09 ERA, 200 opponent average. He's been awesome, and the Orioles are just kind of mediocre against right-handed pitching. And not only that, but when he has a strikeout, we're saving trees.
That's true.
Because a percentage of donations is donated to an environmental fund. So you can feel good about that when you're putting him in your lineup, that you're supporting the environment. I'm just saying, another reason to go with him today.
Yeah, support those trees. I like it. But Cease has been amazing lately. We talked about that run he went on with only allowing like 1 run over, I don't remember how many innings, but he's been great. Baltimore has also been really good lately. However, 45 plate attempts versus Baltimore. They're hitting 205 off Cease with a 35% K rate. Mm-hmm. So I love that upside.
Right.
If we can get a 35% K rate on Cease, I'm all in. And 4-star alert rating for him today.
Who's got the better mustache? Dylan Cease or Spencer Strider? Is there anyone else that has a better mustache? I'm just thinking.
Matt Carpenter.
Oh, Matt Carpenter is a great
Yeah.
one. I miss him, man.
I bet you do.
I really miss him.
You guys have been struggling ever since he got hurt.
He was a glue guy for sure. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at our stacks for today. And first, we're going to look at where the field is headed for this. And not a huge surprise here. They're going to the Rangers versus Colorado. This one's at Coors Field. It's against the righty for Colorado, Yahoo Marquez, who's giving up a 307 average at home. Texas, 9th most runs since the All-Star break. So we could be looking at a pretty high-scoring game. This is at Coors Field again. The ownership is high, though. What do you think about this play?
Yeah, I mean, Marquez has given up a 307 average at home. So you got to kind of like the play. Right. He's also worse versus lefty bats, and Texas can throw a lot of lefties or switch hitters against him. So I do like Texas today. They also have the highest implied total on the slate. I think there's a lot to like. Would I go overboard with this stack? No, but I do like it.
Okay. How about the Royals going up against the D-backs? Another high-owned stack for today. It's going to be the righty Zach Davies.
The Ghoster. Ghoster versus KC is allowing a 385 average in 27 plate attempts.
Wow.
So they have got to him. However, with being said, Davies can't have good games, and I have a hard time following a Met offense versus when they're chalky. KC is also likely without Vinny P, who has been one of their best hitters over the last month. And without him, their offense is going to get a lot worse. 4.5 implied total here, which is a lot lower than some of the other guys we'll mention.
All right. So maybe think about the Rangers, but be careful about the Royals. For
yeah, I mean, they're cheap. I understand why people are going there with so many high-priced pitchers, but there's other places you can go to.
Speaking of other places we can go, let's talk about our low-owned stacks for today. The first one is going to be the opposite side of that Coors Field game. It's going to be the Rockies. They're going up against Dane Dunning, who's got a 4.06 ERA and 2.55 opponent average. However, on the road, 5.08 ERA, 3.01 opponent average, and he hasn't been to Coors Field yet this year.
Yeah. The one thing in his favor about going to Coors is he has been really good about keeping the ball on the ground. 57% ground balls. Now, if he gets that in Coors, the ball doesn't move as much when he's throwing it, and guys aren't getting on top of it. That could be really bad for him.
Yeah.
So we have the Coors game. Literally anything can happen. The implied total for them is very similar to Texas. However, they're going way less owned. So just the fact that they're going so much less owned, you got to kind of like them and consider them.
Yeah, absolutely. Coors Field teams always got to look at. How about the Yankees Mets Subway Series?
Yeah, both of them.
Yes. The Yankees are going up against Taijuan Walker. The Mets, it'll be against Frankie Montas, who I must note has given up 14 earned runs the past 3 games since his trade over to the Yankees.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I might consider fading him until he proves that he can wear the pins.
Yeah, and I thought about using Montas as a low-owned pitcher. I don't mind playing both sides of that one. You know, have Montas in one lineup, and then in the other one have the Mets. But Montas has been terrible lately. Walker has been just as bad, maybe worse. There's warm weather. Winds are blowing out. I could see a lot of offense in this game. Okay. I wouldn't mind game stacking this one and hoping the Coors game doesn't do what everybody expects Coors to always do. So I think both teams are in a good spot offensive-wise, and we could have a fun game.
To your point, the Yankees, last time they faced Taijuan Walker, they did have 2 home runs in that game. And this one's at the Bronx, where they hit a lot of dingers.
Yep, a little small park, you know.
What was that manager that called it a little league? Little league field?
Because
he retracted that. Yeah, but we like to see the long ball. Come on.
Yeah, chicks dig the long ball, they say.
Astros going up against Twins righty Aaron Sanchez, who came over from the Nationals. He's got a 7.68 ERA, 3.47 opponent average. So when you see those numbers for Sanchez and you look at that Astros offense, that's really good. It's worth noting. What do you think about the Astros?
It's
today?
worth noting that the Nationals released him. That's how bad he's been.
Right.
And I can't believe Houston isn't higher owned going against Aaron Sanchez. FIP over 5, 45% fly balls, going against a very good team in Houston who hits the ball hard. 5.2 implied total, which is up there with, Texas and Colorado as far as the highest implied totals on the slate. So Vegas likes them as well.
Mm-hmm. So some great options there for low-owned stacks of the day. We also talked about your pitchers, so plug them into your lineups. And now we're going to take a look at our sleeper plays of the day, courtesy of the LineStar app. Let's take a look. Our sleeper pick of the day on DraftKings is going to be Albert Pujols again.
Let's
Can't
go.
believe he's still only $2,000. This guy's on a tear, and today he's at Wrigley Field going up against Adrian Sampson. Taking a look at his player card here. Man, his incredible run continues. Check out some of those fantasy points he's put up. It's in the blue. 25 points, 32 points, 29 points, 34, 17 yesterday.
The
just
GOAT
on
is
fire.
just doing GOAT things.
Check out this note right here. Was in the perfect lineup on August 22nd. Also, he's going up against Sampson today. 235th against righty bats, giving up 2.03 fantasy points per plate attempt. So not only is Pujols on fire, but he's got a great matchup for today. And so liking Pujols today at that price. Check out the last 20 games here. Look at that average. Look at those numbers right there. Can't believe he's retiring after this season.
I know. It's going to be sad if he doesn't break that 700 mark.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there.
Like,
he's at least got to beat A-Rod, though.
Yes. Our FanDuel sleeper pick of the day is Nick Maton. Once again, the Philadelphia Phillies infielder is $2,000 on FanDuel. And going up against Cincinnati Reds, Nick Lodolo. We'll open up his player card, learn a little bit more about this particular matchup. Now, he does have a 4.5-star alert rating for today, which means he's got a pretty favorable matchup. Lodolo is 48th against lefty bats, allowing 1.64, which doesn't bode well. However, we're talking about a top 5% hitter against lefty pitchers, 3.15 fantasy points per plate appearance. And taking a look at some of his numbers, and look at that jump in terms of his average and then versus lefty pitchers. So great splits there. In the past 20 games, he's been good as well. 317 average for him. So Phillies today going up against the Reds. Also, the Reds, their bullpen is not good. So anytime I feel like the Reds are playing, I always look to see who they're facing for a possible home run call because they give up a lot of them. All right, so those are your sleeper picks of the day. Remember to download the LineStar app today. Get your subscription. Lock it in now, $19.99 a month. That price will go up for football season to $29.99 per month because we do have some really great features that are coming out. So make sure to lock it in now before the season starts so you can save that extra $10 a month. It is worth every penny. Let me tell you, we've got improved ownership and working on some, I guess, special things. Are we keeping them under wraps for right now? But they're going to be good, I promise. And you can find all the information you need to dominate your fantasy league. So check it out, linestarapp.com. Now it's time for our home run calls of the day. Who's going yard today? Tyler, who you got today for your home run call?
You're going to be happy with this one. All rise.
Yep.
Aaron Judge. Like Aaron Judge needs any help, we got warm weather and the wind's blowing out. And on top of that, Judge has 3 home runs in 12 plate attempts versus Walker. And he's going to hit another one tonight.
All rise for the Judge.
Mm-hmm.
Always like that call. And he seems to always deliver.
He
home run
delivered against
machine.
Scherzer yesterday.
Yeah, he sure did.
Going for 48 tonight. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm going with Corey Seager today. He's at Coors Field. I like this lefty bat versus righty pitcher. It's going to be the righty Herman Marquez on the hill for the Rockies, and he has a pretty high home run per 9 rate at over 1.4. He also has worse splits versus lefty batters. Plus, when you're looking at the Colorado bullpen, they're not very good. In fact, they have the second highest ERA in baseball. So all those factors, I love Seager at Coors Field tonight. I think he'll hit a bomb. Seager slam.
Seager slam.
You know I love my alliteration.
All rise for the Seager slam.
All right. Now it's time for our prop bets of the day. Remember, you can play along with our prop bets contest on YouTube. All you have to do is hit like and subscribe and then comment below on this video. And you're automatically entered in to be one of the randomly selected commenters if both Tyler and I hit our props on Underdog. And pretty exciting, we hit it yesterday, which means one lucky commenter wins $60. And the winner for today is, drum roll, Greg Ball, frequent commenter on the YouTube channel. So happy to see Greg Ball win this one. Make sure to message us to claim your prize.
Yes, please DM me on Twitter or LineStar on Twitter.
Remember to download the Underdog Sports app. We've been doing really well with our props lately.
Crushing it.
So we're in the profitable margin on Underdog. So you can tail our bets. All you have to do is download the Underdog Fantasy app. New users who deposit at least $10 will get their deposit matched up to $100. So you're talking about $100 credit already there. Use the promo code LineStar to do that. We're dropping the link below for that. Now it's time for our prop bets of the day. Let's make it 2 in a row. Who you got for today?
I am going with the Seattle Mariner, Eugenio Suarez, over 0.5 hits. Suarez has hit this in the last 3 of 5 games. He's hitting 260 over the last week, and he's facing a pitcher who has a FIP of 7 over his last 5 starts. If that isn't enough, the Washington bullpen is poor, giving Suarez a lot of chances to get a single hit.
I'm going to another Dodger. I'm going Mookie Betts over 0.5 runs. And that's at minus 110 in the sports books. He's hit this in 14 of the last 19 games. That's kind of what intrigues me about this particular play. And then Milwaukee has kind of a mediocre bullpen. So even though Corbin Burnes is a good pitcher, you get to their bullpen, and I like his chances against them, especially when you consider just how good the Dodgers are. And they lead in just about every hitting category, specifically runs and RBI, which bodes well for Mr. Mookie Betts to hit his prop today at 0.5 runs. Also, he has the second highest OPS on the team. So of everybody, I think Mookie Betts has this one today. So make sure to tail our props at Underdog Fantasy. And make sure you get that $100 by using the promo code LineStar.
All those stats hurt because it's all about the Dodgers, but we're going to hit our bets at least.
Yeah. You know, at least there's that.
Yep.
When you see these
I'll take
Dodgers,
the
though,
money.
man,
They're good.
when I was looking up stats for Mookie Betts, it's going to be hard for anyone to overtake the Dodgers. Being, you know,
They're pretty solid.
realistically speaking.
Their
as a Yankees
offense is
Everything
very
is-
good.
You've said before they're just very well balanced.
Yeah.
In all phases. So
I have a little bit of questions about their pitching come playoff time.
that's
but
true.
They're solid.
All right, those are our plays for today. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment below. Keep up with all our videos that we got coming out, especially with football season fast approaching. We've got some new shows coming up and some new programming that I hope you guys like a lot. Good luck in all your daily fantasy today and in your prop bets. Wish you luck. Go crush it out there. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Leave us some comments. Tell Shannon to bring back the Padre sweatshirt. I'll see you
We
guys.
did hit our props yesterday with it
We
on.
did.
So
I
maybe
know.
it's-
You got to go back. Have a good one, guys. Bye.